I'm gonna.
Me?
All right. No.
No, I did. Well,
Evening.
with this new aspect ratio, it's gonna make it. Can you change the aspect ratio on the camera?
Yeah, just pull down the black curtain and all.
I will pull
Sorry,
down the
y'all. We're
back
getting
here.
set up here. Let's
Well,
see. Carlos.
And we can't let you see what's behind the curtain
Howdy.
because I'm like the Wizard of Oz.
I knew that was coming. Blue Diamond Bill Day 84.
Oh yeah.
Down 26 pounds.
It's
What up, Blue Diamond?
it's day 160 for us, y'all.
5 inches off my belly. Even my size large shirts are loose. Decades old toenail and
Well, no, I'm gonna
fungus
put this thing on super
is
wide, and you're gonna be able to see
gone.
that stuff over there, Mama.
Psoriasis almost gone. Loving life and my Lord. Wow. Praise the Lord, Bill. That is
I can do it if
amazing.
you can't do it.
That's amazing.
There you go.
That, yeah, that is amazing. All right, Christian Princess 1, been doing carnivore since following Dr. Ken Berry. Never felt better in my whole life. Texas fam. Yeah, we got the whole fam. Well, got three of us. Got 3 of us here tonight.
Yeah.
I got some water. We were just housing down some steak right before. I still got half a steak out there waiting for me. Neva Smith says hi from Buffalo, Missouri. What's up?
You don't need that light on. That's okay.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
That's awesome. Bill says he's a very happy camper. Bill, didn't he go through a little bit of challenges? Was he getting a little bored back like month? What was it? Was it like month 2?
No, you're thinking. You keep conflating
I'm
Blue
sorry.
Diamond Bill with
I'm sorry.
who we got the truck off of.
This is just a sweatshirt, y'all.
This
I'm
is
not
way
that-
wider.
I'm not that.
This is super wide.
This is very wide.
We're
It's making me look
we
very
all in
wide.
here now.
It's a
Now you can see
wide
us all.
angle.
Is there one in between that super extreme close up?
Nope.
This one?
That's okay.
Sadly, that's what happens when you're working with free software.
We gotta upgrade.
Yeah.
We gotta upgrade our software.
Well,
Well, I don't know if you have to upgrade yourself.
no, it's just when there's 3 guests in here, it's without 2 cameras, it's tricky.
Yes,
So
even Matt is here tonight.
Yeah.
Carlos. Even Matt
Yeah.
is here. So let's kick off the
James was installing a Mr. Cool AC unit tonight, so he just got done.
Mhm, mhm.
There you go.
and
And it was successful too, so that was super cool.
Here's
successful
the disease.
install.
Yep.
Let's see.
Well, he did it fast.
When our first, I
Yeah.
think we're more than 160 days in. We might be like,
Really? Because I counted
Way
back
more.
from the last.
Yeah.
I mean,
because what was it? What was our first date? What was it?
I don't
June 8th.
Okay,
June
so I'll
8th we
count down.
started.
So
Okay.
June 8th.
because
Carnivore. We
Eight,
jumped in the deep end,
1,
y'all.
2,
I said
We jumped
160 because
5,
our
7,
last live stream was 151, I think, and that was 9 days ago.
12,
Okay.
But I mean, maybe it's off. I don't know.
14,
Yeah.
15,
So let's do
16.
some updates. Let's talk to everybody. Keep giving your updates too, because we just love hearing all the testimonials about how everybody's
Yeah,
doing.
160. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah,
so it is.
160.
Yep, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Awesome.
160. I'm glad, Matt's homeschooled, so I'm glad he can do basic math. That helps. Makes me feel
Yay.
good.
I was just going off the last live
Yay,
stream. So
Matt.
So let's just jump into
eating
it.
crappy eggs from the store, free range chickens lay the best eggs. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, check with your neighbors because we eat. How you know all the egg math? You want to talk about the egg?
How many eggs do we
Our
eat?
egg.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
debacle.
we'll eat.
A lot.
Yeah. we'll eat way more than 100 eggs in a week. So
In a
Oh,
weekend.
a week. Yeah.
yeah,
A weekend.
so I've been
Yeah.
networking with our neighbors, and our neighbors are coming through strong. So we're buying all of our additional eggs.
Yeah,
From the neighborhood,
and we're getting them for
$4 a dozen.
$4 a dozen. So,
Yeah.
and they're super excited because around here, you have some older folks or whatever buying 1 or 2 dozen at a time. So when we show up and we're like, we want 100 eggs,
Mhm.
they're like, awesome, hook it
Yeah.
up. So-
And they were asking you about the carnivore diet.
Who is it? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Our eggs.
Yeah. So I
supply
sent
people.
my egg supplier. So I sent them a video today. It was the video I sent them was Shafee and Kelly Hogan.
Okay.
I watched some new carnivore videos this morning while I was working in the
Since y'all are
bedroom.
gonna share that mic.
I had stripped the beds all down yesterday, and I was putting the bed back together and just getting our bedroom all tidied up this morning. So that was like my time where I had my coffee, and then I just like to listen to something. So I usually find a good YouTube video to listen to. So I had that playing, and I found some really good carnivore channels. I love the carnivore couple. We have to reach out to them. I really want to have them on either the podcast. I want y'all to interview them or have them on our channel. I just love them. If you haven't checked them out, go check out the carnivore couple. They're just really down to earth, and they're just a young couple. They have one little boy, and just a really cool channel. And they're up in their game in their videos. Their video quality is like serious. It's really serious. So that was cool. Watch some other people too today. Listen to some other people while I was working in the house, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, everybody's doing good.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing great. What you need to realize.
I feel very, very frumpy. Sorry.
Well, what
feel
I
so
realize
frumpy.
is
It's like our lounging clothes.
I had a lot of people when they start, they feel a little sluggish, and then they break through that, and then they feel great. And I had like this 30-day period where I felt superhuman, slept great, felt superhuman. I had to force myself basically to go to bed at 10, like it's 10 o'clock, and it would fall asleep right away and all that kind of cool stuff. And then I would hit these different walls where like, man, I feel run down. And that's when I started messing with the butter. And then when I took the butter out, I'm like, okay, maybe it was the butter, and then with the store-bought eggs, I can definitely, it doesn't feel, and we're buying more expensive eggs. We're not buying the cheapest eggs. And then, but I definitely experience a difference with homegrown eggs versus store-bought eggs. And then what I did today, I was having, where I was previously having inflammation response to the butter, I said, well, let me just run with the Kerrygold and see how that is. And I can eat a stick. I can eat a stick of butter, no inflammation, no postnasal drip.
Awesome.
So
That's great. I'm
trying to do like a fat priming. And the other thing I'm doing is I haven't dove deep on the priming aspect.
No, I want you to join up with Coach Raymond over at the Steak and Butter Gang.
Raymond.
And
I'm coming for you, buddy.
I want you to be coached by him for a month.
I think it'll be
really helpful.
He's like a freak of nature.
Yeah. And
I haven't seen Coach Raymond.
I think you would do good too to be coached by, because you're men, and I don't know.
Thank you.
Like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. Did you have your electrolytes?
You didn't check with us before.
I don't know. Can you up your butter?
Old mother hen.
So
Old Mother Hubbard.
I don't know. That's my two go-tos, like electrolytes and then up your fat. That's my two things.
It is cool that you're able to eat butter again, because I found that butter is like one of the best things to get in your fat for the day.
Yeah, and it absolutely.
Daily fat.
I mean, I absolutely know
super
for
easy.
certainty. One, it helps you increase your fat content. But two, I know that it dramatically improves my sleep cycle. So I wanted to. So yeah, I'm doing a stick a day, and been sleeping good. It's really funny because what happened today is, what's today? Tuesday?
No,
Wednesday. Today's
Wednesday.
Okay, so on Monday, I slept so well and felt so incredible that
on Tuesday. Okay.
Monday night, I couldn't fall asleep. I'm just like, I went to go to bed. I'm like, man, I feel great. And I went to go to bed and I'm like, oh no. Like,
well, the one crazy thing that's happened to me is that going carnivore, it was like you said, you feel superhuman. Especially coming from a whole foods diet, kind of vegan diet, sort of. So especially for me, I didn't have really any ailments. And you feel superhuman, but then you actually, at least for now, for like 160 days in, now I kind of feel like when the sun goes down, my body starts to goes into a, I don't know if it's like more primal or something, but it's like, I don't feel like I'm going to be like a night owl and like stay up till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. Like I'm like up, the sun's down, at like 8 o'clock, I'm like, dude, I need to go to bed.
That's
like
been a recent change.
It's crazy because I used to be like, oh man, I'm still wide awake at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I think like in the past month, did that happen? I started to realize it, where even the little ones, like they're crashed out. Mm-hmm. And if we make it to like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, that's it. Like everybody's done. Everybody wants
butter in the coffee.
So that's so good. And that's so healthy. And that's just being that in tune with sleeping. It's just go and the daytime and the nighttime rhythm is just going to help everybody's health.
Thanks to my buddy Billy at the Permaculture Pimpcast, I've been focusing on the grounding and walking on the dirt with my bare feet. Finally letting my twinkle toes. I have.
He was always picking on us. I have very soft kids feet, going barefoot.
Very soft feet.
Now finally he's going barefoot.
And I'm going to continue to. Much to Faith's chagrin, I'm going to continue to mux with the grounding sheet type of apparatus for when I sleep.
I think that's hoaxy.
Yeah, but, even though everybody says, but but
I want to play around with it too.
It's hoaxy.
I don't know.
She doesn't. Well, she is honest. She doesn't know. So let's leave it there.
That's
Can
true.
I still eat an avocado sometimes with carne or a kiwi? Why not?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Knock yourself out.
Make sure it's not an A-peel avocado or an A-peel kiwi.
The only we have kept it really, really simplified and really streamlined because it fits our family, it fits our needs. We don't have to make it complicated. Like for us, if we were going to add back in something like say avocados. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many avocados I would have to get on a weekly basis for everybody to have access to avocados, even just once a week? Like, it's a lot. And then there will be waste again, because I know this from past buying avocados. And then, you have the issues with the GMO stuff and then worrying about which avocados you're going to source. So I get it if it's just like 1 or 2 people. It's no big deal to like add and take out things and add in things. But for our family size, it's just seemed best to keep it really, really streamlined and really, really basic. The only thing that the little kids still have is blueberries, and they love their frozen blueberries as a snack. And we've limited that to once a day because that can get out of hand if we don't limit that.
And I have planted a gigantic blueberry veg that is self-watering. So we're going to conquer the blueberry riddle this year. Mm-hmm. So they're planted now, going into the fall.
That would be great.
It's going to be cool.
If we could freeze a lot of our own
Can you ever drink a glass of wine? Here's one thing that I think is becoming more pervasive as more and more people begin to understand their food is I think it is incredibly unanimous, certainly across the carnivore spectrum, that alcohol, spirits, et al. Are completely toxic and absolutely terrible for you. And, the big wine has done these surreptitious studies that claim flavonoids and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I think that wine is absolutely a toxin, which is why you get a buzz. It's killing your brain cells. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I call it swill. I know it's offensive to some people that enjoy their
wine. I think what I've heard from different people in the carnivore community is, well, first of all, there's no such thing as perfection. So if you have a glass of wine, you're just going to have to see, does it take you a day to recover from that? Mm-hmm. I know Dr. Chafee says it takes him about 2 weeks to feel like himself again if he chooses to have a drink. So human being on the planet is going to be different.
Yeah.
I know different ones have said rather than a wine, which is of course fruit, right, based, to have just something that is just a plain alcohol. But I know Michaela Peterson talks about a couple different types of alcohol that she still enjoys on occasion. But of course, she will say that drinking alcohol is not good for you.
Correct.
Overall.
I think that's unanimous.
But if you are going to have a glass
Mhm.
of something, she recommends a couple different things. And I think Dr. Chafee might say something about that, and maybe one of his live streams too. I don't know. But he said it would have to be some kind of very exceptional circumstance to have that, because there's just so many negatives.
Honestly, if you're going to drink anything, y'all, we would highly recommend that you drink Texas Boys coffee.
There you go.
Yeah.
Highly recommended by carnivores for carnivores. Most doctors in
It's
the
not
northeastern
meat-based.
hemisphere highly recommend the native brew.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if you
Definitely.
suddenly feel a hankering or an urge to buy some, please go to the Texas Boys.
Definitely.
Oh my.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh my.
Shameless
heck?
plug. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Very
so,
shameless. Yeah.
as far as coffee and tea
What
goes,
the heck?
from what I have heard, like from Dr.
You're
Barry,
terrible.
is that it's not positive or negative. It's just kind of a neutral for
And
most people.
right, yeah,
Now,
and
if it's not for you, if it's a negative and you realize negative, then
Wine
take
or
it out.
coffee?
Coffee. I've
Oh.
experienced. So I experimented with coffee, and I'm like, hey, if this thing is
Sure.
look, if this thing's holding me back, I want to eliminate it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I eliminated it, and I eliminated it, I don't know, for a week or two. And I'm like,
Yeah.
huh, no,
Mhm.
it's not the coffee. Like, I still feel the same. So I added the coffee back in. And the thing, the way that I do it via observation is, okay, if I add this thing back in and then I make other changes and start to feel really great, then obviously
Mhm.
now maybe I'll get to this super optimum state and it's like, let me try taking that out again to see if I can get
Mhm.
my optimum, like a couple notches higher.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
but
I'm
what did you
psychotic
find
like that.
out about the coffee when you took it out of your life?
No,
No
nothing.
benefit.
No benefit, no detriment.
Yeah.
It didn't
pros,
it didn't
no
affect
cons.
me in a pot.
So then what did you do?
So then I added coffee.
You
back
added
in.
it back in.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but my point is I don't drink a lot of coffee. I'll have
Only reason I'm drinking coffee is just to get in my fat and my eggs.
Mhm.
sure
That's it.
a delivery.
And it tastes good, but then, that's the only reason, because that's the one thing that I've learned during the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet and just my body in general, I cannot have breakfast in the morning
Mhm.
99% of the time. Sometimes just like a fluke, I'll be like, yeah, I'm hungry and I'll eat something right now.
Mhm.
Very, very rare.
Right.
So normally, but I've learned over, going carnivore and everything like that, that butter and eggs in my coffee in a liquid form is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And that's like my routine in the morning. And I feel amazing after having it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
And there's no perfect way
No.
to do carnivore. I mean, there's just, there's anything from the extreme of where
Mhm.
it's just
Mhm.
like beef, salt, and water, a lion diet, all the way to like a ketovore type diet like Misha Berry does.
Yeah.
So, and anything in between is what you get to play around with and figure out where you are on that spectrum, what works for your lifestyle, for your family dynamics.
Yeah. And before you draw a conclusion, I would highly recommend trying out more of like a hardcore carnivore, just meat,
Sure.
or just meat and eggs, strictly plant-based, strictly meat-based,
Mhm.
or animal products, and being really strict with it before drawing your final conclusion for about, 30 days,
Sure. Yeah, I think that's what Dr. Barry says.
Billy
Billy in the house.
Beef, butter,
Billy
bacon,
finally
and
made our live
eggs.
stream.
Now, we have mainly taken out bacon. You know, I think it's important to just keep playing around with it and tweaking it and seeing, you know, maybe some people in the house still like bacon once in a while, or some people like this evening, we got these little hams, and a couple of my kids, they had ham and eggs this evening, and that like made their night. They are so excited about having ham and eggs, you know, where me and my husband were like, just give us our steak. Like we're just the old standbys. And then for the past couple days, I've cut out butter altogether. Just went back to straight tallow for everything, cooking my eggs in tallow, putting tallow in with my steak, just playing around with it, seeing if I notice any difference on anything. I don't like eggs in my coffee, and I don't like butter in my coffee.
Yeah.
I do like tallow in my coffee.
That's great.
I'll eat a tablespoon of tallow.
Really? I can't.
Straight up, right before bed. Boom.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can't do that. No. That's, I do 50-50 now, actually, in my coffee.
Okay.
I do 50% butter, 50% tallow. Personally, to me, I can taste the tallow.
Yeah.
When I do the amount of fat that I normally put in my coffee. So I figured out if I do 50-50, it's great. What's tallow? Tallow is
rendered beef fat.
So,
it's pure. It's white.
We get.
There's no taste to it.
We buy ours online, and
it's a big 7-pound bucket.
Because we do get our cows butchered at the butcher shop, but we tell them to put all the fat from the cow into the ground beef.
Yeah.
So we have a super fatty ground beef, which is absolutely incredible for when you are grilling them on the grill, because you can crank that grill up. They cook really fast. And I know people have been saying, like, you know, when you would get from the grocery store, right? And if you got a fatty burger, right, and put it on the grill, it would shrink up.
Yeah, ours don't.
It doesn't. Yeah, I've talking to like a good friend from Indiana, and he was like, man, putting all that fat in there, it must shrink up to a little. I'm like, no, not at all.
Did we get any beef bacon yet?
We did, Billy.
Yes.
And we tried it, and it was.
I didn't personally try it, but y'all did.
Did I? I didn't.
I don't. Not you.
It doesn't
like Mom and.
It doesn't
the
really act like bacon. At least our bacon that we got done at our butcher shop from our cows. I'm not saying, you know, I'm sure beef bacon at the grocery store acts just like bacon and it's all great, but the fresh stuff that we had done at our butcher shop, and they were playing around with it too. It was their first time doing beef bacon, in their defense. And he kept asking me how it was, but I think it would make a good jerky. It tastes like bacon. The taste was spot on, but the texture was very like jerky. I think we're going to make jerky out of it. It's going to make amazing jerky. But what we do love doing with our cows is the beef sausage.
Yes.
And we get lots
incredible.
Of beef sausage made up.
It's
and then
expensive.
You put that,
I mean,
you put that in the smoker.
I'm like, so good.
I had it tonight. It's so great. So I put it in the smoker for like an hour or so. It gets like super red, like amazing. Got the good smoke ring in there. And then I'll slice it into like little rings. And like tonight I had reheated burgers with sausage. The trickiest thing with reheated burgers is trying to make them not dry. So I actually cubed my burgers up and then like put a good amount of butter in the pan and with the little round sausages. And it was to die for.
But the beef sausage is
so
not
good.
As expensive as buying bacon from the store.
Exactly.
And Brad, if you're going to raise coonies for bacon, man, you're going to have to stuff.
Sadly.
Because, you know, we've butchered coonies several times, and I don't think we ever got bacon off a coonie.
Yeah. And if you do, it's going to be a little tiny bit of bacon.
So coonies are awesome. Coonies taste great. If you're doing it for bacon.
Unless, I guess, like Hamilton, he would.
Well, Hamilton probably has,
you know,
50 pounds
he's
of bacon
like
on him.
4 or 5 years old. So, you know.
He's robust.
And you're not going to get a ton of bacon, even off of a big, huge pig. For pork specifically, just a small portion of that pig is actually bacon. You could look it up and Google how many pounds of bacon do you get on an average one of the mainstream type, like a Yorkshire or whatever.
Fill in the blank.
Pig. And it's really not that much. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but say it's like 14 pounds of bacon or something. It's not a lot.
No.
Well, it depends on the size family that you have. For us, it's not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like maybe a month's worth of bacon. So
eating herring is fine on carnivore. It's animal based, so you're good to go.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't eat raw herring, but
Go for it.
It sounds
Didn't
awesome.
we try that?
It's super high in fat.
Didn't
I would
we
think it'd be
try
like a
herring?
superior.
Maybe. I know last year when we went on vacation, I ate fish like
was that
every
herring
day,
that
but
Buddy caught?
Oh, yeah, that's
Huh.
right. That was
Silver?
at South Padre.
Is
Yeah,
that
he
silver?
caught that white herring. Ooh,
Yeah.
I did not like that.
It was gnarly.
It was super fishy.
But maybe if you like deep fried it, that's not carnivore, but
I think the cool thing,
Probably.
no, you're not deep fried, but
Oh, she's Dutch. There you go.
yeah, Christian Princess says, my focus and concentration has really improved since I went carnivore.
No brain fog.
I would say that it's easier for me to stay focused
Yeah,
on one task at
definitely.
a time during the day in the house. And also, I feel like you really have that carnivore chill. Like you just have a way more laid back personality. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just all of that.
maybe we just cooked it wrong. The herring.
Oh, herring's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that's
we coulda
totally
cooked it wrong.
possible.
Totally possible.
Yeah.
Totally. But Buddy caught like 20 or 30 fish that day on the
Mhm.
beach, and they were like
Oh
really
man,
long.
that was incredible.
That
they were
was
practically
incredible.
like jumping on the shore.
Yeah,
That was wild.
and
Mhm.
because the sharks were coming in and they were pushing them up to the shoreline, and they were like practically jumping onto the beach. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Crazy to watch.
Yeah. Our main diet has been beef, all the
Mhm.
different types of beef,
Yep.
and sausage, our beef sausage,
sausage,
made from
yeah.
our cows, and eggs with
Yeah.
a little bit of butter and tallow. I get a 7-pound bucket. It's grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow, and that lasts our family about a month. And that's pretty much
Yeah.
it, y'all.
Yeah.
Eggs is a big mainstay. Like we go through a lot of eggs, and we probably have about 50 hens out there right now, and we
Yeah,
need probably
roughly.
50 more
Yeah.
just to try to maintain.
Yeah, and with our two neighbors and the connections now, and I would like to connect with a couple more neighbors. Like
Mhm.
I'd be fine with like a barter, and they like so the one that I bought from the other day, she can free range them most of the day, so they're actually
Huh.
free ranging.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's
That's
really
even
And
better.
they are superior. Like when you crack them, they are legit.
Yeah, they're like
So-
really
bright
orange.
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
so
can't.
that is, and I mean for $4, that's like
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah.
And frozen blueberries. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
My little kids like frozen blueberries. And then, like I said, I make the Dr. Kilt's
Marinated. Okay.
ice cream recipe.
Yeah, and I have the double blueberry fudge right now. So there is, so I planted Tiff Blue, Premier, Austin, and another rabbit. Let's see, Tiff Blue, Premier, Austin, and one other one. And I planted 2 whole rows of them. So it was like 20 bushes. So and
I hope
they're planted high in the mid lighter,
Yeah.
so they will definitely drain well. We can literally turn the water on and off, so they will get watered every day. It should, and then so I got 2 hedges of blueberries, and then I'm going to do all the rest custom figs. So we'll have like I think 4 other of my collector figs. But
Yes.
yeah, that should be superior. But
If you're going to have fruit, or Catherine Home says, if you're going to have fruit, you can look at fruits that are ketogenic. So berries are going to be less sugar. And you can even look at specific berries like raspberries are going to affect your insulin the least amount.
Really?
And then I think blueberries come next. Blackberries are on the list. But even some carnivore doctors like Dr. Berry will say, and Nisha does a little bit of berries on the side. Their kids eat berries and they eat some avocado. They do more of a ketovore type thing. So just whatever you can tolerate. It's not, again, about perfection. It's just about if your body has sensitivities to it, then obviously you can't add it back in.
Yeah, it's about doing what is optimal. Oh, that was weird. It's about doing what's optimal for you and what's sustainable long term. You know, whatever will enable you to not yo-yo.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and to not fall off the wagon.
Right.
You know, it's so relative in the grand scheme of like, you eat a cup of blueberries.
A cup of blueberries, a handful of blueberries is not going to do much to you. And, you know, what you need this month or for the next 6 months or a year might not be what your body desires or craves the next 6 months or a year. Like it's going to change. So I have a girlfriend that she just has like a handful of blueberries just during her 1 week out of the month. When she feels that week coming on, she's like, I just need something. So she'll just have a handful of frozen blueberries or a cup of frozen blueberries. And that's good. That gives her that little bit of sugar boost that her body needs. Other than that, she's basically lion diet. And that helps her. That gets her through. I really leaned on frozen blueberries maybe like a few times a week in the beginning, in the evening, especially if I wanted something just to like munch on. But now for the past few months, I guess, I don't have any desire for blueberries at all. Like I don't, none. I don't want the blueberries. It would be so sweet tasting anyway. I'd rather, if I want something, it's like once a week I get out my ice cream that I make, and then that's it. It's very low sugar.
Carlos, so your blackberry patch, is that from the Primarks that you got from us? What cuttings rooted for you, Carlos, in Virginia?
Oh yeah, and while we're at it, go ahead and give your spiel about your Food Forest in a Box.
Yeah, the Food Forest in a Box is out and live, and we've been having a lot of success. A lot of people have been ordering it. And we've been able to get it out pretty stinging quick to everybody. So that's really exciting.
I'm really pleased with the cuttings we're sending out this year. They are a very incredibly high quality.
They're the best cuttings we've ever sent out. Like we had ideal weather for cuttings. It frosted a little bit. It just slowly, gradually got into some cooler weather here. And boom, you know, we were able to start taking cuttings. It was perfect. So
Billy's saying, do y'all feel the need to do any fasting? You know, many times I intermittent fast usually because I'm usually eating one meal a day. Faith fasted for 4 or 5 days, almost too much there.
I usually
it
do.
Almost took her out.
Naturally is what I usually do is about a 16-hour fast every day. I stop eating at a certain point in the evening, and then I don't eat until the next afternoon. So it's usually 16 to 18 hours. I mean, it could be 20 hours. I don't really keep track of it. But if there is a day where I feel like I want something, you know, earlier than 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, then I go ahead and eat. I don't deprive myself of it either because it's already so limited. There's no reason to do that, especially me as a woman. It's a whole different thing with Dr. Bright talks a lot about that. There's some doctors who don't feel like women should ever fast, never, because of lots of different things with hormones and things. I do think that fasting is very helpful, not for weight. I don't really see a big difference when I fast for weight purposes, but I think there's definitely a place for fasting. If I was to do fasting again, I would like to do like a 2 or 3 day fast. It would be really cool, I think, to do a 2 or 3 day fast every month.
I want to implement fasting into as a regimen, as part of my eating program. You know, exclusively as a Christian, I think it's incredibly important for spiritual reasons to do it. But as far as like part of an integrated eating program, I want to implement it because, you know, one thing that I'm incredibly regimented about how and why I eat. That's what's kind of fascinating about carnivore, because it just lets me, hey, I mean, of course I enjoy food, but like really, I just want to eat and do stuff. Like I don't want to spend a bunch of time eating.
Yeah.
So it shrinks my eating window to the small window. So I'm not like grazing like a cow and always doing this stuff.
Right.
And for that same disciplinary type reason is the same reason I want to implement fasting. Besides that, there's all these autophagy, you know, all these medical, like just miraculous medical benefits to it as well.
I think just as a preventative for even cancer, you see this in the cancer regimen that Dr. Thomas Seyfried's putting out about just the benefits of regular fasting, you know, of just doing a once a month, you know, for 2 or 3 days is really, really good. But you got to be careful with it, and it's not for everybody.
True.
And, you know, you have to be smart
and
about it.
Listen to your body too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen to your body.
Or you will end up like mom.
Right. I was going for the 5-day fast, which I've done 5-day fast, 6-day fast, no problem last year. But last year I was like 25, 30 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And I was going into it eating a high carbohydrate diet.
Yeah.
And this year I'm, you know, I haven't got on the scale in the past month or so, but I'm way lighter than I've ever been, probably my whole adult life. It doesn't look like it in this video, but I am.
You look beautiful, dear.
And so that does play a part on that. And, you know,
you just got to put it on do not.
When your diet is already so restricted and so limited, you just have to use common sense when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yep. You want to
go ahead,
answer that one right there?
Yeah, I'm like 60 pounds too heavy. Will carnivore get me more in shape fast with the intermittent fasting? Yes.
100%.
Yes. And you probably don't have to torture yourself with intermittent fasting.
No, if you're very strict and you
carnivore
fat load,
I mean, you will
lose weight.
Yeah.
Lose weight.
As long as you're fat loading, making sure you're upping your fat content.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I think the thing has always been eat as often as you want until you're comfortably stuffed and keep yourself full. Your body can actually hold on to weight, and you can stall out on losing weight by restricting calories. So that can actually work against you
because there's like 8 billion people.
If weight is your thing. And I know a lot of people, like the Dr. Chafee says, don't even worry about like scales and all of that kind of stuff with the weight. The weight's going to come off. Your body's going to do what it needs to do. You might stall out for a year or two. There's people that have those kind of testimonies, and then all of a sudden your body heals what it needs to heal.
Turn that dumb thing.
Stupid, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, keep texting.
It's people.
It's people.
It's people.
Sometimes your body just needs to heal. Sometimes you'll gain weight.
Fruit trees, according to scripture, must be grown 4 years before harvest. Yeah, I say to that too. I say
I say
I don't know.
It's interesting.
We're under the law of liberty, Joy. There's a law of liberty.
Yeah, I'm not up to speed.
Must be grown 4 years before harvest.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
There's all kinds of Old Testament laws that do not apply to New Testament Christians because Christ. Praise the Lord.
Tony. Oh, yeah. BMI sale is off the chart for people. Oh, scale. I think that's what you meant to say.
6 feet tall.
Yeah. America is like so past morbidly obese. It's like unreal.
I think Farmer Brad, you were asking about chickens and comparing that to raising pigs. There are lots of carnivores out there that love their chicken wings and chicken thighs.
He was saying it. Has anybody done a barter chart? So that way you could kind of barter it, like, it takes this. So if you're trading chickens for pigs, that's what Brad was saying. Has anybody done like a barter type chart so that you can monetize like an apples to apples trade.
Oh,
kind of
I
thing.
see.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
For our family, we just stopped eating chickens. We eat the eggs, but we don't eat chickens.
Yeah,
One, they're
not worth
they're too expensive
Yeah.
to grow out. Even grass-fed
And
chickens,
way
pasture-raised,
too much work
a lot of
to
work
butcher them.
To butcher,
Even skinning them.
Yeah.
That's like we learned that was the quickest way to do a chicken. It's still pretty quick, but you know, when you can just get a cow butchered,
Yeah, and you're losing all the essential fat that the only fat you'll get off a chicken
is the skin.
You're losing it by skinning it.
Yeah.
And the conversion cost per pound is astronomical compared to a cow. I mean, astronomical. I mean, by like hundreds of times more.
Yeah. Plus, you get the ruminant animals, so the stomach filters out a lot of things. But hey, I'm not hating on anybody that likes their chicken wings.
No,
whatever you like. If it's meat, if it crawls on the face of the earth, go ahead, go for it. Eat it until your heart's content. I'm not.
Well, if it's animal based, I'm not up for everything that crawls. But
what, bugs?
Bugs.
Well, they're technically carnivore.
Eat the bugs.
No, not
just
carnivore.
Out of like a purposeful. You know, there's a reason I am wearing this t-shirt. Okay, there's a reason for that. We don't need to.
So anyway, let's talk about our energy. Let's talk about how
no bugs, no snakes.
We have. Let's talk about
we're the opposite of Jed. You're low energy, Jed.
Physical health.
You're
Let's
low
move
energy,
on
Jed.
to how are you feeling?
Who's going first?
You.
I'm feeling I'm feeling absolutely astronomically, that was the wrong word. I'm feeling absolutely, whatever type of additional, description
verbiage.
And it's not a brain fog, but I just, I can't. That's interesting. But it wasn't from brain fog, but I'm just saying, I feel incredible.
That's just the Prussian school
system. Incredible since Monday. Now, last week, like I do hit these points where like a week, I'm like, man, I'm not sleeping good and I'm draggy and I don't know why. So I'm like, okay, this is the beauty of it, because before
being in tune with your diet and your body.
And my buddy Joe, he's been carnivore at work. He's been carnivore, I don't know, maybe a month now.
Okay.
And he's like, it's so weird. He's like, now I just look at foods and they're just trash. Like it's just processed trash. And he's like, when you go to the grocery store, it's like processed trash. Like, so I was in,
we can touch on that too.
I was in Sam's Club today, right? Cause they have, Sam's Club hack. They have Archer grass-fed beef sticks. Now these sticks, they call them mini. So they're 4 grams. So basically it's a half of a regular stick, right?
Shrinkflation.
But with the cost per bag, it's 24 half sticks. So you're really getting 12 full-size sticks. And I found these chef cut sticks that were $1.50 a stick, which was a great deal. And these are $1.25. So they're a better deal. And you can get them at Sam's. So I was like in Sam's, and it's so fascinating because you just don't see, even when you were more whole foods and not eating processed stuff, now I'm just in there and it's just, it's palletized stacked to the sky. And you're just like, wow, all of this food in here is absolutely chemical garbage. Yeah. Just trash. And then you just start looking around and you look at everybody, and this is not hyperbolic.
What would you say it is? Like, what out of how many people are like a normal weight?
1%.
In town.
Like, I mean, like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20.
All I have to do is if you just look at the people you work with.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pan through my office and now I got some carnivores in there now, but maybe one very young kid.
Okay.
Well, no, two of them, and they're both young, and one runs a lot, and he's definitely has like a very healthy BMI. So maybe 2 out of 40 plus people. So I would say 1%.
Yeah.
And, and I encourage you to do that. Like People Watch tomorrow. and just maybe even just take a notebook, right? And just put a check mark. Oh, obese.
Yeah,
it'll blow your mind.
It will blow your mind. Yeah.
It'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
So how
It's
about
really
you?
sad.
How are you doing on your
Been-
energy level?
Been doing good. Been still eating pretty much only once a day. Yeah, I mean, just doing good.
OMAD.
Yeah. OMAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the coffee.
James
the
is
morning.
saying that too. James said he went to eating once a day. And it's funny
Mhm.
how you gravitate towards that. Once in a while, I'll have 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
I
It's
think,
rare. I have 2 meals a day.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just like how my day is. It's like so busy. Like
Yeah.
I'll work all day until like, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty hungry now. I'm going to go ahead and eat. So it's kind of awesome
And
because
then what do you eat?
Depends
on the night.
it depends on the night. Normally of lately, it's been a lot of burgers,
Okay.
so just getting out some burger meat and then grilling them up on the grill and then just having them like that. And then occasionally with a fried egg or two.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And butter?
yes,
said
definitely
butter
butter on them. Yep.
Okay.
So that's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is crazy when you do go to when you go to the grocery store. Like when we were in North Carolina, I think we stopped at we stopped at the Food Lion, but then we stopped at another one.
Ingalls.
And
Where
it's
the lady recognized you.
yeah, that was crazy. She didn't even know that we were going to be in North Carolina or anything. And she was just like staring at us. She's like, I know you from somewhere. Aren't you on YouTube? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, I know you.
I said, what?
So anyway, we always act confused. We're like, really? But yeah, it's just nuts. Anywhere, a Hebe or Walmart, and you go in there and literally it's like only the meat aisle. That small little meat aisle is the only aisle in the whole entire grocery store
that you're gonna get
from. It went from Whole Foods, where it was pretty much all the outer aisles, which are the perimeter, that are Whole Foods, and then it took now it's only like 1/3 of that. Boom, the meat aisle. That's it. That's walk through all the rest of it and don't even go through most of the store.
It's a dichotomy. It's a microcosm of life, and it speaks to all of this synthesized artificial life, right? And when you're trying to simplify your life and live a more simplified, purposeful life, what are you eliminating? All of the glitz and the glamour and the process and the stuff and the hyper consumerism. And it's a great read, The Millionaire Next Door. Read The Millionaire Next Door, and you'll learn all about hyper consumerism and why everybody's broke and nobody has any money and everybody lives paycheck to paycheck. But that's this same exact, it's interesting. Dr. Baker had a Bitcoin guy on today, and they were just talking about Bitcoin. And then they asked about, he said, well, how does this relate to beef? And this guy, his name's escaping me at this present moment. But he said, he got into carnivore, and there's an inordinate amount of overlap between carnivore and Bitcoin and both communities and sovereignty and, parallel society, parallel community, parallel economy, parallel, structure, so that because everybody realizes they trying to take away the food. Everybody. Everybody realized to try to take away the food, right, Billy? And they want the food, and they really want the cows. They want the beef. Remember the old lady that said, where's the beef? Yeah, that's what they're saying. Where's the beef? Because they want to eat the beef and they want to eat the bugs. So there's such a parallel. Like you could look at that supermarket, right, and say, wow, there's really only like 5% of this supermarket is really worth eating. Maybe 20% of it looks like it would be worth eating.
True.
And then the rest of it is absolutely toxic, chemical toxins that are harmful, right? Which is why we have all of these comorbidities. It's why we have all of these type autisms and all these type immune problems, right? And all these different things. And like, then look at the stock market. It is totally fake. This book just came out, right, about holding stocks, and they have all of these air quotes brokerage accounts. Like, you don't have any stocks anymore. You don't even have the rights to your stocks anymore. They've all been monetized. They've all been given to the big six, right? And in the case of any type of insolvency, the big six are the hierarchy. They come first, and you will absolutely get nothing. And you absolutely do not own any of the shares that you think you own, right? And what is that? That's a complete synthesization. So it's been synthesized, and then there's the illusion that you still own it. And you may get dividends and pittance and all these different things, but when it comes time for the absorption, when it comes time for the wealth transfer, when it comes time for them to take from us plebs and to heap unto themselves, and like, and they're going to fare sumptuously, like in the book of Revelation and all that stuff, and the merchants and the great kings and all that stuff, right? They're going to take it, and this is all, you got to fix your diet. You have to fix your economics. Capitalism died with this debt-based whatever. Debt-based, and what's going to supernova implode is this debt-based garbage, quantitative easing number 68, and this debt-based economy, right? And what doesn't anybody have? Capital, right? And what's going to happen if you do have capital? It's going to be incredible, and there's going to be incredible opportunities,
right?
And it's all of these small tiny pictures are pictures of life, and we're just watching it repeat and duplicate it. It is absolutely fascinating.
So the best thing you can do is buy some dirt and buy some cows. Because that is
I would highly recommend that.
Of a synthetic financial system is a real financial stock market, and you can make your own. You just need a little bit of dirt. You can lease some, just need somebody to throw some fence up around it and put a couple cows out there, and then you have your own food sovereignty right there. So find a local butcher that can work with you, and you can even rent a cattle trailer, and you don't even have to own one. And you can,
you can do that.
You could even rent a cattle trailer.
Cow yourself.
Lease dirt.
You could rent a cattle trailer, go buy a cow from a sale or a local farmer and take it to a butcher shop. You wouldn't have to own dirt or a cow.
Or a cattle trailer.
So there's all kinds of ways around it.
There's a million different ways to do it.
Very creative. But I thought it was interesting that Michaela Peterson was talking about plants and environmental allergies, and how a lot of people have, they suffer from environmental allergies, but they don't put the correlation between the plants and the environmental allergies. So like, for example, growing up, I've always been allergic to dust, hay, pollen, animal hair, you name it, mold, you name anything in the environment, I'm pretty much allergic to it. And I'll start sneezing like crazy. A couple of my kids are the same way. And when they come inside, I said, wash your hands, wash your face, or go get in the bathtub, wash everything off your body. And then it's usually fine. But then when we start eating all of these plants from outside, and they have dust, and they have molds on them, and they have, all of the different things on these plants, aside from the fact that 99% of these plants are genetically modified, they're man-made, they didn't exist 1,000 years ago. So we're eating this stuff, and our bodies are having autoimmune type reactions to it. And there was another girl I just watched today, and she realized that she did carnivore for 90 days, her and her husband, just as a challenge to themselves to see. And about 30 days in or so, she was listening to Michaela Peterson talk about environmental allergies. And she had the same testimony, kind of like me, saying I'm allergic to everything. she had actually had all the allergy tests done to prove that she was allergic to everything like that. And whenever she took out all of the plants, she had no allergic reactions, but hers were so severe that even if this girl, not Michaela Peterson, but this other woman, if she's tried to add back in, like say, A1 steak sauce, she would just allergies, start sneezing, just coughing.
But
and
there's corn syrup in
she
A1.
had videoed,
Corn
you know,
syrup.
but there's other things, right? And she was just like, this is ridiculous. Like just that little tiny bit of plant material is making me like this. Like she just has a hard time believing it, but yet she proved it to herself over the course of 90 days. Joint pain, all different things would just happen if she tried adding in.
The only thing I still have is like this little bit of occasional tennis elbow. Like, and today it's not bothering me at all.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I have that, and I think I have this like weird little occasional bone spur thing on a heel spur, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's still just not quite gone away yet.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. I think it's going to go away.
Well, as far as my energy level's gone, it's been great. Like I've been able to
You have meat.
go out and walk like once or twice a day. I'm outside, I'm walking, I'm sprinting,
That's
having
good.
fun with the kids. Yesterday
You're biking.
was
Yeah.
the second time that I went on a bike ride with the kids, which was really fun. I have not been on a bike ride probably since before I got married. And it's just
That's a long
so
time.
much fun to like get on a bike and just go down the road and ride bikes with the kids. Like that's just been super fun. So anyway, and I feel great. And then I come home from my bike ride and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go walk for 30 minutes and I'm going to sprint. And then I'm running around in the backyard with my 8-year-old, you know, and so my energy has been great, but it's been level. Like I've been like, I don't feel like I'm superhuman during the day. I just feel like I'm straight, even keeled
Average
during the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really good. I feel good. I do think like maybe a month back, I felt like I had hit like a mental wall, like where I was just like, I don't know, just kind of in a funk. Like it's like, I don't know.
Are we going to KetoCon this year?
That's when
I really
push
wanted
through.
to. Yeah, that was, I had to just, cause I was like, I kept thinking of foods that I wanted and
that's when people break right
and
there.
I just was like, I don't know. I just was like, about a month ago, I was just in my mind. It was just a mind game that I just kind of really got a bad attitude in my mind about it. But I was more stubborn than my mind. So I just plunged through. I just kept going.
Food is a drug, man.
But it did mess with me for a little bit. Drug. It was just like, I don't know. And
the craziest thing too is like when you go back and the foods that you thought you loved so dearly and you're like, I could never live without that. And then you go carnivore, you know, and now we're 150 days in,
right.
You know, you try something that you absolutely knew you absolutely loved, you know, and you're like, wow, that is so disappointing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, like off the bat, like what I used to love to have were potatoes all the time, like tater tots and stuff like that. Dude,
tater tots, but I did love potatoes.
Yeah, loved them. Absolutely craved them. Butter. And I don't know, it was months back, you know, a couple months back when we were like about like a month or so in and then trying them and they just
was like, no. And the funny thing
that's been a lot of foods. That's been pretty much all the foods. They've been like it's all been in my head.
Yeah.
You know, because you eat it and you're like, oh wow, this is like absolutely not what I remember it tasting like.
Yeah. Well,
it's like all in your mind.
It's funny how that is because I remember
normalcy bias.
A couple of months ago, we were at church and there was this asparagus. We always eat at church and there's like a huge spread of food, just all kinds of delicious foods. And we usually just eat the meat. That's what's there. So,
Yeah.
So
and we bring our own meat too.
Yeah. So
Beef.
there was some asparagus there and I was like, oh, that looks so good. And I used to really love asparagus.
Yeah, you did.
So I put it on my plate and I was like so excited to just have a couple pieces of this. And I took a bite of it and I was like, nah, it wasn't the same. It wasn't worth it. It didn't have the same. So I just didn't eat it. So, and it's been the same like that. I could say that too. I think it's just I don't know what it is. Just the mental.
Yeah. Comfort foods. Yeah. I see, like, cornbread and beans sound so disgusting to me now. And those used to be like so delicious to me.
Yeah.
I've tried cornbread again. It was at like a couple weeks back or so. And it was so disappointing. And I've had that same person's cornbread and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But you taste it and you're like,
it doesn't have the same.
It's
hold
like
on
your
you.
taste is neutralized. And it's like you're starting from like scratch pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, with no drug ties or anything to your brain.
Right.
And then you taste it and you're like, that doesn't even taste good.
Yeah.
Like, why am I even going to eat that?
Yeah.
And then the worst part is if you push through that and you try to like psych yourself out and then you feel like trash afterwards.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, I'm a real big idiot for eating that. You know,
my
like,
little girl,
that was so dumb.
She had a cup of hot chocolate today. We ran into town and she wanted to get a cup of hot chocolate. So I said, okay.
You're terrible.
And, but this is the thing with the little
terrible.
ones is that, so I said, yeah, she could have the hot chocolate. So we got home and by the time we pulled in the driveway, she was like laying down in the back seat. And I said,
I can only imagine.
He said, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. And I was like, what?
It's like you have a mother.
And she's like, yeah, she's like, that was, I can't even remember. She said, I was like, does your belly hurt? You know? And she was like, no, but you know,
mommy.
yeah. So
Thank you.
I mean, they're learning it by themselves.
Golly.
Like I know a couple weeks ago there was hamburgers at church and they had a bun. Like a couple of my little ones had a bun on their hamburger, and then later, Big Tex, who's 8, was like his stomach. He was just doubled up in pain because of the hamburger bun, and I said, I told you, you know, you ate the hamburger bun. So, you know, you're going to have to make that choice. You know what it does to you. So now you have to decide, is it worth it to have that kind of bellyache over a
and he's
hamburger
old
bun?
Enough now to understand that.
And
too.
he was like, it's very tempting, Hammy, very tempting. That's what he said. He was outside.
That's funny.
By the pond, and he was quoting over the hedge. He's like, the food. And what do they do when there's, what do you say? With the humans, enough is never enough. And he's like, and what do they do with all the leftover food? They put it in shiny metal cans just for us.
That's funny.
And there's a lot of truth, right? It's a joke in that kids movie, but it is so true. Like to the humans, enough is never enough. Like you just, that food
designed to fatten you up and stupefy you.
Yeah, that food is just
and to keep you in this bread and circuses state so that
the
war machine can war.
And the crazier thing too is nowadays there's a plethora of organic junk food.
Right.
That
in the same
you're like, oh, well, this is organic. It's healthy for me.
It's healthy bread.
It's awesome. You know, I can still eat my organic Oreos, you know, or fill in the blank, you know, because they've just magically thrown organic labels on everything now because they want to get all these crunchy people on board. You know, it's amazing.
Or even if you're making it at home, and we did that for well, since you were a baby, but I mean, for the past 5 years consistently, you know, we made all of our bread at home. But you have to believe that 50-pound bag of grain that you bought is actually not sprayed with glyphosate,
Yeah.
and
It's-
you have to.
It's a lot of faith.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Even though it's organic wheat or it's organic or it's gluten-free or whatever, it doesn't matter. You still have to believe that on faith. And when
Yeah.
you see that your body react a certain way to it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just totally not worth it. And my little girl, she had a hamburger bun and she said, I didn't get a bellyache. This was last week from church. I didn't get a bellyache, but she said, but I was so tired after I ate that. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what bread will do to you. It'll make you really tired. But it's neat that they're realizing it. Like
Yeah.
they can and it's not us trying to
Force it upon them.
force it, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, if you're choosing to have that hamburger bun and we're out or whatever, then you know what's going to come of that, and them being able to make those decisions for themselves is really neat, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
Even though we are the parents, we do guide them,
Yeah.
So the
True.
next time she wants a cup of hot chocolate and we're in town, I can remind her while it's fresh in her mind. Remember what happened last time when you had the cup of hot chocolate? Do you remember all the sugar in it and then how you felt? And then it will be her decision and it won't be me just saying no to something without a memory that she'll have of that. So yeah.
So that was your plan? Like self-inflicted pain.
Well, it's the same with the hamburger buns. If you just say no,
True,
you can't
very
have
true.
it.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, as soon as
What if
mommy
it
and
was
daddy's
heroin?
okay, Captain Extreme.
What?
I don't know. I would probably say no.
Cocaine?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
What if it was
wow.
meth? Fentanyl?
Oh my.
I don't even know if you're supposed to say that on
There
YouTube.
is
Can you even say that?
Oh, yeah,
There's-
you can say all that stuff.
Oh, that's true.
And every
They love
four-letter
it.
word. And
They-
doesn't matter.
Other people can. No,
Yeah,
us.
because they're satanic.
Okay, so let's stick to the topic at hand here. So, hoping to get buttercup bread again this year. Oh, your cow. Okay,
Cow.
good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yes, and you got some cows,
Yeah.
and we got some cow updates
Yeah.
coming.
Got some low lines.
Yep.
Got some low lines. Yeah, very exciting. But I think that's it for tonight's live stream,
So
y'all.
for the night's live stream, y'all.
It's been over an hour. We've had a lot of fun. Y'all have asked some great questions. Is eating yogurt okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had yogurt. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I ate some yogurt when I was kind of feeling a little bit down, and I got some more of it like a week ago or so when James wasn't feeling good and when Buddy wasn't feeling good, and they said it helped them a lot,
Yeah.
So whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Finding the stuff that it's just cultured milk in it
Mm-hmm.
is
Mhm,
the
mhm.
ticket.
Yeah,
No crap in it.
That's the
That's the ticket right there.
the
Mhm.
challenge.
Yes, because a lot of it has a bunch of garbage in it
Yeah.
that you do not want.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yes, you can eat yogurt, but make sure it doesn't have any crap in it.
Yeah.
So,
I would probably just treat it as a dessert.
yeah,
once in a
exactly. Every
while.
once in a
Sure.
while. Sure.
Yeah.
I would say it's way better than having ice cream, yogurt.
Sure.
If
Probably.
if it doesn't have the sugar.
Yeah,
in
if it doesn't have the sugar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as processed. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out.
That's it. All right.
That's
y'all
all
have.
for now. We'll see you on the
That's
next video.
it.
Bye, guys.
All right. See y'all later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.